As always, we're going ahead and recording this, making it public. We're going to be using Autodesk Meshmixer. We're going to start off. You go ahead and download it. I've set it on the link for everybody. It's a great program. If you have Windows, you get 32-bit or 62-bit, 64-bit. If you got a relatively recent computer, choose 64-bit. Otherwise, go with the 32-bit. Relatively new is within the last 2 years. It says my computer doesn't have any disk space. Well, then maybe later you'll have to take some things off and just watch tonight. This webinar will be recorded. I'll upload it right when we get done. As always, raise your hand once you have it. Once you've got it downloaded, let me know. All right? I'm running back and forth right here, looking on other computers while we're doing this. How many people? It's downloaded. Do we raise our hand? Yes. Yeah, once you've installed it, you can go ahead. You know, remember, you pick the right one for you. Make it Mac or Windows. You know, if you're running, if in doubt on, by the way, on Windows, do 32-bit, which will work fine. If it's a 64-bit, it won't run on a 32-bit machine. All right? And of course, once you download it, you got to install it. They're going to ask you if, you know, here it is, go ahead and install it, and you can go ahead and open it. And it's going to ask again, you get it so it opens up to this screen right here. So you've downloaded it, go ahead and install it. Get it when you see a screen that looks something like what I have right here, go ahead and raise your hands. Okay, folks, let's get raising our hands. Yeah, once we have installed it, absolutely you can open it. Yes, once it downloads, double click and it'll install it for you. No worries, raise your hand once you have it all, folks. That's part of the deal. Okay, raise your hands once you've got it, folks. I only have, it says to me, 2 people right now installed. All right. Double click on it. And then there should be an icon that'll come up on your screen. If you're running a Windows machine, it'll look like that Meshmixer. If you need to look on your computer and you're on a Mac, use those little search thing, but you're looking for Meshmixer. You may have to search your Mac for it. Let me know when you've got it running, guys. All right, Aiden, I'm not sure. All right, Sean, nice, nice staying with it. Perseverance is important. Aiden, every time I double click on it, opens, a window with a loading bar appears, and when it stops loading, it disappears. I'm not sure what's happening there. Maybe reboot your computer. What kind of computer do you have, Aiden? Caden Craft, how you coming on this? How you coming on this? Well, I understand it's a Windows machine. What Windows 7? What version of Windows do you have there? And did you open a 64-bit? Did you download the 32-bit or the 64-bit, Aiden? Try it as a 32-bit, Aiden. He needs to go to where he installs it, doesn't create an icon for the other one. Thank you, Kishan. When I click on the icon, every time it reinstalls, because you're clicking on the installation icon. Also, make sure go look at, see if you've got it right up here. Thank you very much, Keyshawn. Also, make sure, guys, that download it as a 32-bit if you're not sure. Aiden, I think that's what's happening on yours. Go download the 32-bit. Okay, listen. It's not creating an icon. We just sent you a message. Go under Programs, Files, look under Autodesk, look under Meshmixer. It may be there for you, buddy. Try that, okay, man? I'm not sure why yours isn't working, Aiden. Make sure you go under Autodesk and make sure and see that it isn't already installed. Go to Autodesk Meshmixer. See Program File /Autodesk /Meshmixer. Okay, those people haven't installed. Please put your hands up now so I can go ahead and look at it. How many we've got? Make sure you look at where we showed you to look for the program. We've not really had this problem with installations. It's been installing pretty well on most computers. Caden, do you have yours installed? Keyshawn, I know you got yours good. Let me see just another message. Keyshawn's got his. Caden Craft, do you have yours? Do you have yours finally working? Aiden, if you need to jump off, jump back on, reboot it, see if it'll come up then. I'm not sure why it won't run. But I'm going to give it another couple minutes and we've got to get started here. Okay, I'll try rebooting it. All right, Aiden. All right. Let's go ahead while Aiden reboots. We're going to go ahead and get started, folks, because I know everybody's waiting to get on here. All right. All right, so when you open your screen up, let's go ahead. It should look something like this. There's no new buttons, only import. So you're going to bring yours. You can't create a new model from something. And there's plenty of places you can go. Thingiverse. There's a lot of different programs that you can bring in there. Right off the bat, I can think of Thingiverse. Also, on Autodesk, they have different sculpting programs. We'll go ahead and bring up our own thing in a minute. Little bunny rabbit. All right? The idea of this program is to do something like this. All right? You combine existing 3D models in order to create new ones. So important, the closest thing to new. So import the closest thing to new. So like you've got this and you want to add a bunny. You can take a head. Kind of weird looking. Actually kind of creepy, I'd agree. All right? So that's kind of a weird looking thing we're going to do. Does everybody follow? Raise your hand if you understand. Keyshawn understands. Aiden's getting it. Cooper's got it. Jason, hopefully, let me know. Kane Craft, let me know, guys. Kane, can you hear us? All right, great. For some reason, I haven't heard Caden the whole time, so I'm going to go on here, or you can tell me what happens, Caden. Go ahead and see if we got a question here. All right. Let's go on. So, for now, click the bunny underneath the import. Click this bunny right here. This is a quick import. Looks something like this when you bring it up. Raise your hand once you've got the bunny up. Raise your hand, guys. Let me know when you have the bunny up so I can answer your questions. Yes. If If you can't launch it, Aiden, go ahead, raise your hand so I'm not waiting. You're very good. I appreciate that. I don't know why. Go back later. You can search what it is. Jason, have you been able to get to the bunny? Okay, and I don't know if you can even hear me. All right. All right. Let's first start messing around. Just like the other Autodesk things, we're going to go ahead and use pan, hold and drag. You know, push a mouse down, hold and drag. Zoom with your wheel button and tumble where it spins around, hold and drag. It's kind of cool. So right mouse button gives you the tumble, pan, hold and drag, zoom it in, you'll pull it off. Let me see if I can get my copy of it right here. Bring mine in, I bring in the bunny. All right, so I can do it this way, holding the right mouse button on. I can hold this down. Go ahead and do this. So I'm pulling them down that way. And I can zoom in and out this way. Really use the hold and drag more this way. I use this one quite a bit, the right mouse button. And I usually zoom in and out. All right. Okay. There's a toolbar, obviously right here on the left of things. We're going to look at that. Import does just what you think, import. Or you can bring a second model in. If you click, there will be a confirmation box asking whether you want to import a second model or start a new project. Also, there will be an option called Flip ZY on Export Import. That's a good case whenever modeling program you imported from or printer you're exporting to uses Z-axis as vertical, since Y-axis is vertical in Meshmixer. And a lot of programs, think about, you guys are doing math, you have what we usually think of as X and Y, X being the vertical, Y being the horizontal. In a lot of 3D programs, we got to do 3 dimensions. So think 2 dimensions, and then the Z comes out of there. Well, in the vertical, and so flip it if it doesn't come out right. If you import from something odd where you really get something weird, try that, because the Z and Y components have been traded. Okay? Putting everybody's hands down. Probably not something you're going to do all the time, but it's there. All right. Meshmixer contains dozens of different meshes and objects attached to your model. This will allow you to edit or some of all of your models and select, unlike the name suggests, there's more than just select things. We'll get to all that in a minute. Sculpt allows you to modify directly. So you can add, using brushes that you can add or remove material, you also can paint it. Though the painting we've had mixed results on so far. And honestly, our 3D printers, you're not going to be able to paint them anyways. Stamp presumably allows you stamps to use your project, but we won't use it for this lesson. And edit allows you to change the model as a whole, duplicating it and getting it ready to print, for example. Analysis tells us all things about the measurements and whether or not there's holes. Hey, is it going to be a good thing to print? Export and print, there you go. You can also do shaders. Did I jump that on this? We'll get to that in a minute. We skipped shaders. Let's go ahead and pull this up, and let's take a look at it. So if you click on shaders, you can add these metals and things to it, and you're going to get that. So go ahead and try it. You're going to actually add different shades to it. Let's see if I can get this to work right. Mine doesn't want to play. Oh, dragon. My bad. What am I doing? Sorry, it's been a while since I've used this. There he goes. Kind of looks like a green Easter bunny. Go ahead and try out these different looks. That looks wild. Yeah, I still like that one better. All right. Raise your hand once you've tried that. Play with it a little bit. This is kind of a low-keyed one tonight, so don't worry. How do we move it? We really don't worry about moving it. We move around it. We're not moving it right now. We'll get to how you can do that, but just change the colors on it right now. Change the materials with it. Raise your hands once you're done playing colors with it, guys. All right. Keyshawn, you getting there working? All right, Jason, how's it coming? Caden, we haven't heard from you the whole night, so I'm hoping you're getting this. Caden. Hello?
Yes?
Oh, are you doing this stuff, buddy?
I can't.
You can't?
No.
Why? What's up, bud?
It says my storage disk is full and it won't let me download it.
Okay. All right. Figure out while we're watching, I'm recording, you can see if you can figure out what files you want to take off your computer. Just leave your hand up and I'll know then. Okay?
You talking?
Yeah, Caden?
Okay.
Just so we know.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Now, wait a minute, where we go? How did I jump off here? All right, go ahead, click on Meshmix. All right, and you're going to see there's all these cool options. This is when it gets really funky. So clicking on one of these things and dragging it adds to it. So I'm going to use this presentation. So if we clicked on that arm and we drag it over this mouse, we're going to put an arm on the rabbit. Aha, sounds like crazy scientist. So go ahead and do that, okay? So we're going to go here. You can do there's primitives. Here's arm, so I'm going to click on arm. I'm going to drag it right there. And there's his arm off there. So let me just, now if I do anything but accept, it's going to not show up. So let me just show you again. You're going to go to Meshmixer. They have different things you can add, symbols, primitives, which we remember from our different programs, for example, Tinkercad. But select arm, pick an arm onto your object, and I'll drag it right there. And now we can start playing with it at this point. I think what I'm going to do here is change the color back to something. All right. Once you've got, let me show you the next part of this then. Once you pull the arm down, you're going to see this: size, bend, offset, bulge, smooth, all kinds of things. Size, change the size of the part. You can go ahead and play with that. Bend. And you can sit there and bend it and do some weird looking stuff with this. So, oops, I put the wrong program on there. It came up. So if I go to bend on mine, let me go down here. I'm going to see if I can get my original. Let's turn this off. That's just annoying. All right, great. So there's my arm. Now when I hit the bend on this watch, it'll get really, it can get really funky. So here's his arm. We shifted it this way just to play with it a little bit. And it's not doing a good job showing you the difference here right now. But it's twisting it around. See how it's starting to deform it? I mean, that's kind of disgusting. I'm going to put it back to what it was. All right. Jump that out of there. Okay. Offset moves the part closer or further away from the model it's attached to. The model is going to warp so it gets up. If you start, the offset, we've not had a lot of success using it. So in other words, here we go. See how it moves out? Now it starts moving it back. So now I got the arm doing this. It's kind of weird too. And you can shove it into the rabbit. You can bring it back out. Some of this is really just experimenting as much as anything. Again, bulge. You can do some make bulge. You can move some muscles will come out. I think you need to play with that to give an eye. Wherever it attaches the part, you use smooth art, and the idea is to make it look like it blends in with the. So you bring the little arm in, it blends in with the rabbit. This helps with some proportions. Change scale of some parts, but not all the parts, kind of thing. Once you get on the part, you can start to modify itself. This will scale the whole part, that triangle. This moves the part, that little globe. This rotates the whole part, base and all. And of course, there's a second set of tools. What would we do without the second set? You can rotate it like twist and taffy. You can use this to move where it's moving, pointing. This gets us back to the original options. See if you can bring the arm around like this. If you can't, don't worry about it, but just trying to make a two-armed rabbit on this. Let me know when if you get that. And don't worry if you don't quite. This is kind of one of these things we're playing. We're not stressing out about this. So raise your hands once you get it. It's one of these things, keep playing with it. I'll stay on, since we took a little while to install, I'll stay on a little bit longer so we can keep everybody get a shot at doing all the things. It's kind of funky once you get it rolling. Folks, let me know once you think you got a hand there or you played with that a while enough, and we'll roll on to the next part. Give you a few more minutes here on it. All right, we got some folks here coming along. I feel bad that you don't have space, Caden, on your. See if there's, but don't delete anything without talking to your folks. By the way, once you turn it, make it ginormous. That would be cool. Then, if you can do anything, all right. If you go to flip, wait a minute, let me go back here. Sorry. You make it ginormous, okay? Just pull out these buttons, make it bigger. We're going to accept it. We can add a second arm to the other side. So you can take that arm, you can put it on this side, you can flip it. Also, you'll notice they're different colors. Remember, if you don't hit accept anything else, you'll lose whatever you've done. So you make it big, accept it, add a second arm on the other side. You can hit flip it, get another arm. There it is. Cooper, let me know how you're coming on this. Kayshawn, Jason, let me know. It's not, don't get terribly upset if you don't get quite the arms your way you want it. This is, to me, like a little bit like a sculpting program. You play with it. I'm not particularly super at this, but some of you guys that are artsy can probably do a better job than I can. All right, let's go on to the next part here. There are groups or specific collections of part. Triangles grouped together for easy selection. By the way, if you're wondering about triangles, we figured out, mathematicians figured out you could use triangles to make about any shape. And that's what we use for making up most 3D models, are actually a series of triangles. So you've got the select. Let's look at select. There's two absolute selection models. Double click to select groups. Click on the model, click and drag on the model to paint. So, which is kind of weird. Double clicking is why grouping is important. Without groups, it selects everything on the model you want to double click. So, all right, double click to select a group, then click and drag on a model to paint it. We're having some luck on the painting. Okay, let's do this. Let's double click on this. Let's go select. So I just lost what I did. So I just got the whole guy there, and it did all that color. All right. So you can do under select, you can undo your brush, you can add some filters, really get some into weird kind of stuff on here. So I got a brush right there under select. So I'm painting them right here. Paint a little bunny tail here. We could probably paint another color. So you can play with that feature a little bit. There's some filters you can do. Symmetry on sides of this. Let me see if I can pull it up here so you can see this. And we're going to get into all these different things you can start doing here. Look at the air on that side. Symmetry going along that. I'm painting them off here, which is painting them along the side there a little bit. If I don't, I can just paint them right here, and there's not that symmetry. And, you know, you can go ahead and play back and forth with it. And there's some level of detail we don't even have to worry about. You've got the box selection, which will take this whole head, and you got laser cut, where you're taking just a section. All right. So let's go back over here. So when you do this box selection, all right, let's go over here. You can do things like that, where I'm laser cutting it, or I can go like this. And you get a whole group over it like that. Let me go ahead here. Layer selection. All right. So you can go like this. And it'll add color right at that spot. This is a laser cut, so if you go out here, it's getting that action. If I go right here, it gets that action. I don't know, it's not particularly super clear the way they do that, but it does. Okay? So what makes it a relative selection as opposed to absolute? With all that means, if we do the laser cut or box selection, it highlights part of the model based on what you're looking at, which is what I've been playing at. All right. Laser cut the tail, don't worry, it'll be okay. We're going to, you know, we'll go ahead and play with that in a minute like I was kind of doing. And then we're going to hit Edit, Erase, and Fill. So let's go ahead and let me select bunny tail here. ahead again. Oh, shoot. All right, let's turn around here. All right, so I got his bunny tail. So I'm going to hit erase and fill. So see how it cut off his tail right there? Don't worry, we're going to add something on in a minute. All right. Go to edit, okay? And then we can start, we're going to put something fit primitives. And we can start playing with it this. And I'll show you, let me get back to the slides. So you hit erase and fill. And you can just play with the sliders on it as you do it, as you're doing erase and fill to mess around with that. So go ahead and try that a little bit. Let me know, go ahead at that point, all right? There's a lot of different, and then you can do things like, you can do bulge, you can do that, accept it, and then go back to your primitives, and you can drag that onto his tail. So in other words, I'm back here. Here's my tail. I'm going to get back out of that tail. I can go over here then, right? Let's go back over here, import. Import. Oh, I don't want to do that. Hang on a second. All right. Hit Meshmixer. Go back here to primitives, and we can add this little tail on the back of the bunny. So you can do different things playing on there. So you can put geometric shapes on the bunny. So it doesn't even matter that. It'll allow you to be very, talk about an interesting card. I didn't accept it, so it didn't go on there. But we could have taken, I don't know what else. Oops. I'm going back and forth between my slides and the program. So that's why it's a little confusing. So anyways, you can end up with this on the bunny. And then you have Boolean union, which they're a little bit different than past. The arms in this thing are all hollow objects. Those primitives tend to be solid objects. And they use a little bit different geometry than the fancy ones. So that's why we have that fault. So this thick ones take simple shapes and either by adding them union or subtracting them. So that union makes 2, subtraction pulls it off, intersection. And you can make some complex stuff. Again, this back to Tinkercad. Remember we used to make the hole and you could pop it out. Alright? And then we're going to do a union, so it'll pop in there to save the tail. You've got the 2 arms, you got this funky little rabbit tail, you can add color. And then you really start getting it kind of with the paint. So this one ended up with a blue one. So I wouldn't worry so much of the paint. Because honestly, there's your problem. Your 3D printer is only going to print in the color it has. Okay? Just curious, how many people think they're going to play with Meshmixer? What do you guys think of it? Raise your hand if you think you're going to play with this some. And you can imagine, say if you're at your school you had more 3D printers, would you use Meshmixer? This is important for us to know. Is this something that you all are interested in, want to learn more about, or not? Write down what you got. Oh, I'm sorry, I've not been looking at this colors. You can change the colors. Keyshawn, you don't move it. You just go down the object and select colors, Keyshawn. Right here, I'll show you. Well, let me get to everybody else here and see if you think you'll use this. Go to shades and just drag the color over there you wanted. It's probably the easiest thing to do. Okay? Painting doesn't work super great. I would like to work with more when I get it to work. Good. Good. You got a couple of people saying they would like to use it. All right. I'll stay on with anybody that wants to be on for a little bit longer because it took a while to get everybody installed. We will do the Raspberry Pi next week. You're going to get back into your lab, do some soldering and building some things too with your Raspberry Pi. So there's a lot going on. Can someone show you how to do the tail again? Yeah, let's go over here. Is that mine? All right, so let me see if I can. All right. So what you do, say if I accept it, there's his tail. All right. I can do select. I can run a line right through here, which would really cut up a lot of them. I'm not sure we want to do that. And then you can do things, edit, erase, and fill, where you can start to erase, replace a region of the mesh. We can bulge this out. Like I see the brown there, I'm bulging that out, or I'm scaling it. Now I'm bulging it out over this. So that's all, and you've got that smooth, and there's other features. I'm going to hit cancel, clear selection. I just erased part of that, if you can see it. And then if you go into back up to Meshmixer and go to primitives, that's where we go ahead and we put that on there. I could put a number there, which would be a little bit weird. Number 1. So now my bunny is number 1. See? Yes, you can go. I wanted to show you Meshmixer, get you off that. We've been doing some design things. Wanted to show you combine it, and now you can go. All right, goodbye, everybody. A bunch of people just jumped off. Looks like we got pretty much everybody off now. All right, then. Well, if everybody's jumping off, I'm going to go ahead and call this a night. Y'all take care, okay? Bye-bye, everyone.